chant some auspicious prayers before. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Janmadhyasya Tumbhayata Tarataschatisha Vigyasvara Tene Brahmahritaya Adhikaye Mukhantiya Suraya Tejo Varimritam Yatha Vimayo Yatra Trisargam Visha Dhamna Svena Sada Nirasta Kuhakam Satyam Param Dhimahi Satyam Param Dhimahi Satyam Param Dhimahi. Janma Dharma Projita Kaitavotra Paramo Nirmatsaranam Satam Vidyam Vastavam Atra Vaskashavadam Tatpatrayam Mulanam Srimad Bhagavate Mahamuni-krite Kimba Pararishvara Sadhya-kritiya Parutyate Trakriti-vishushrushukistachana Nigamakāpatarorgalitam bhalam shukamukhamrita dravasamritam Pibata Bhagavatam rasamalayam muhuraho risika bhuviva ukaham. O my Lord Sri Krishna, Son of Vasudeva, O all-pervading personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. I meditate upon Lord Sri Krishna because He is the absolute truth and the primeval cause of all causes of the creation, sustenance and destruction of the manifested universes. He is directly and indirectly conscious of all manifestations, and He is independent because He is no other cause. There is no other cause beyond Him. It is the only He who first imparted the Vedic knowledge unto the heart of Brahmaji, the original living being. By him, even the great sages and demigods are placed into illusion. As one is bewildered by the illusory representations of water seen in fire or land seen on water. Only because of him do the material universes temporarily manifested by the reactions of the three modes of nature appear factual, although they are unreal. I therefore meditate upon him, Lord Sri Krishna, who is eternally existent in the transcendental abode, which is forever free from the illusory representations of the material world. I meditate upon him, for he is the absolute truth. Completely rejecting all religious activities which are materially motivated, this Bhagavata Purana propounds the highest truth, which is understandable by those devotees who are fully pure in heart. The highest truth is really distinguished from illusion, for the welfare of all. Such truth uproots the threefold miseries. This beautiful Bhagavatam, compiled by the great sage Vyasadeva in his maturity, is sufficient in itself for God realization. What is the need for any other scripture? As soon as one attentively and submissively hears the message of the Bhagavatam, by this culture of knowledge, the Supreme Lord is established within his heart. O expert and thoughtful man, read Srimad Bhagavatam, the material fruit of the desire of tree of Vedic literatures. It emanated from the lips of Sri Shukadeva Goswami. Therefore, this fruit has become even more tasteful, although its nectarian juice was already relishable for all, including liberated souls. Nārāyaṇa-Namaskritya Naro Devang Chavam Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudivayet Nashtaprayasha Bhadrishu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Rattamashloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtiki. So, okay, we read today verse 15 from second canto and 5th chapter. Nārāyaṇa-parā vedā devā nārāyaṇāṅgajāḥ nārāyaṇa-parā lokā nārāyaṇa-parā makhāḥ nārāyaṇa-parā vedā devā nārāyaṇāṅgajāḥ nārāyaṇa-parā lokā nārāyaṇa-parā makhāḥ. Okay, someone.
nārāyaṇa-parā vedā
nārāyaṇa-parā vedā
devā nārāyaṇaṅgajāḥ
Devā nārāyaṇaṅgajāḥ
nārāyaṇa-parā lokā
nārāyaṇa-parā lokā
nārāyaṇa-parā makhāḥ
nārāyaṇa-parā makhāḥ. What did you?
nārāyaṇa-parā vedā
Nārāyaṇa-parā vedā
devā nārāyaṇaṅgajāḥ
devā nārāyaṇaṅgajāḥ
nārāyaṇa-parā lokā
nārāyaṇa-parā lokā
nārāyaṇa-parā makhāḥ
nārāyaṇa-parā makhāḥ. Nārāyaṇa, the Supreme Lord,
the Supreme Lord,
Parāha
Parāha
is the cause and is meant for.
is the cause and is meant for.
Vedaha,
Vedā,
knowledge.
knowledge.
Devaha,
Devā,
the demigods.
the demigods.
Nārāyaṇa,
Nārāyaṇa,
the Supreme Lord.
the Supreme Lord.
Aṇgajāḥ,
Aṇgajāḥ,
assisting hands.
assisting hands.
Nārāyaṇa,
Nārāyaṇa,
the personality of Godhead.
the personality of Godhead.
Parāha,
Parāha,
for the sake of.
for the sake of.
Lokāha,
Lokāha,
the planets.
the planets.
Nārāyaṇa,
Nārāyaṇa,
the Supreme Lord.
the Supreme Lord.
Parāha,
Parāha,
just to please Him.
just to please Him.
Makhāḥ,
Makhāḥ,
all sacrifices.
all sacrifices.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. The Vedic literatures are made by and are meant for the Supreme Lord. The demigods are also meant for serving the Lord as parts of His body. The different planets are also meant for the sake of the Lord. And different sacrifices are performed just to please Him. Purport. According to Vedanta Sutras, Shastra Yonitvat, the Supreme Lord is the author of all revealed scriptures, and all revealed scriptures are for knowing the Supreme Lord. Veda means knowledge and that leads to the Lord. The Vedas are made just to revive the forgotten consciousness of the conditioned souls, and any literature not meant for reviving God consciousness is rejected at once by the nārāyaṇa-parā devotees. Such deluding books of knowledge, not having Narayana as their aim, are not all knowledge, but are the playgrounds for crowds who are interested in the rejected refuse of the world. Any book of knowledge, science of art, must lead to the knowledge of Narayana, otherwise it must be rejected. That is the way of advancement of knowledge. The supreme worshipable deity is Narayana. The demigods are recommended secondarily for worship in relation to Narayana because the demigods are assisting hands in the management of the universal affairs. As the officers of a kingdom are respected due to their relation to the king, the demigods are worshipped due to their relation to the Lord. Without the Lord relation, the worship of the demigods is unauthorized, avidhi purvakam. Just as improper to water the leaves and branches of a tree without watering its roots. Therefore, the demigods are also dependent on Narayana. The lokas of different planets are attractive because they have different varieties of life and bliss, partially representing the Satchitananda Vigraha. Everyone wants the eternal life of bliss and knowledge. In the material world, such an eternal life of bliss and knowledge is progressively realized in the upper planets. But after reaching there, one is inclined to achieve further progress along the path back to Godhead. Duration of life with a proportionate quantity of bliss and knowledge may be increased from one planet to another. One can increase the duration of life to thousands and hundreds of thousands of years in different planets, but nowhere is there eternal life. But one who can reach the highest planet, that of Brahma, can aspire to reach the planets in the spiritual sky, where life is eternal. Therefore, the progressive journey from one planet to another culminates in reaching the supreme planet of the Lord, Madhama, where life is eternal and full of bliss and knowledge. All different kinds of sacrifice are performed just to satisfy Lord Narayana, with a view to reach him, and the best sacrifice recommended in this age of Kali is Sankirtana Yagya, the mainstay of the devotional service of a nārāyaṇa-parā devotee. Namagyānam tivaravyasya gyānam janam shalakayam chakshurumiritam yenam tasmai shri gurave namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupam Kadamahyam Dadati Svam Padantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yudapadakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavascha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajaivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijanam Savita Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakavitamascha Hare Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabham Sukhudevi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalparubhishya Kripa Sindhubhya Vicha Patitanam Pavamibhyo Vaishnavabhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jayatam Saratabhango Mama Dharma Tirpati Matsava Srapadam Gucho Radhamadana Mohana Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Srimad Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityananda Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharya Nirishesha Shanimadi Pashatiranda Shatari. So in this world, okay, before I just want to share something which I learned lately. Some devotees are organizing courses. It is called actually Method of Lord Chaitanya. And I started to study there. But it begins with basics how to learn, learning how to learn. And actually, if we really want to learn something, to study, we we should come already prepared for the new information when we come, and we already gather some facts which we already knew about the topic, and this activates our very deep memory, which otherwise is not, these facts are not in our this part of the brain which is calculating, analyzing. So we need to connect all information which is deep in our brain. We should call it out to our calculative part of the brain, and only in this case we can accept something new which will connect already to the information which we have in our brain. Otherwise, it will be something unknown, and maybe that's why we cannot focus, because we on the lecture sometimes, because it doesn't connect to anything which is in our calculative brain right now. So if we are in our calculative brain, there is something about our job or family, then there is no space for Krishna there. So now it would be good, of course, and that's why actually we study Bhagvatam verse by verse, so that a devotee who comes to every Bhagavatam class in nearest temple, every time he comes or she comes, the memory is awakened from the previous lectures. And so in this chapter, cause of all causes, Narada Muni asks his father, Lord Brahma, please describe what is this material world, and because you are creator of this world, and but how can we distinguish between material world and transcendental world, and we as the souls, how can we understand this world is not real world, and but you created this world, you know perfectly what, and but what is actually your real position? But because you cannot create this world alone, it is, and who is behind you? Who helped you? And Lord Brahma said, my dear boy Narada, you are so merciful to all of us, even to me. So sometimes when we are like in our very busy life, and sometimes devotees come and speak about and ask something, like, do you remember something from the lecture? Oh, you're so merciful. Because you're reminding me about Krishna, and actually we are trying so hard to remember Krishna every moment of our lives. That is, not to forget him, always to remember, and but still this only when we read. Okay, this is also a very beautiful verse from Bhagvatam 1.3.40 on the same, which express almost the same. Idam Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahma Samhitam Uttama Shloka Charitam Chakara Bhagavan Rishi Hrishreya Saya Lokasya Nihshreya Saya Lokasya Dhanyam Swastyanayam Makhāḥ. This Srimad Bhagavatam is the literally incarnation of God, and it is compiled by Srila Vyasadeva, the incarnation of God. It is meant for ultimate good of all people, and it is all successful, all blissful, and all perfect. So what we are looking for else? This is literally incarnation of God. God Himself is in Bhagavatam. And it is compiled by Srila Vyasadeva, the incarnation of God. And it is meant for the ultimate good of all people. And it is all successful, all blissful, and all perfect. And only I just notice it, notice every day when I come back to Bhagavatam and I read it, I have a feeling I forgot. Again, I forgot. I was the whole day, like yesterday night, somewhere else. I really have a feeling I forgot. And but also here Srila Prabhupada comments that any literature which is not meant for reviving God consciousness should be rejected. And it is rejected by devotees who are looking for Krishna. It is also said here, also in this verse, we read it is nārāyaṇa-parā, nārāyaṇaṇgajāḥ, nārāyaṇa-parā, nārāyaṇa-parā. 3 times it is said nārāyaṇa-parā. Why do we speak about Krishna? And yeah, we should not be also misguided, because in the very first shloka of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said that it is son of Vasudeva, who is the supreme God of personality of Godhead, and also in Paribhasha verse of Srimad Bhagavatam 1.3.28, it is also said that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. And as this verse were before, we already should know that even if Bhagavatam will speak about Narayana, we should understand it speaks about Krishna. And it is interesting also that if we don't read Bhagavatam daily, we really forget it. Because in previous verses it was said that those who don't remember Krishna or Narayana, they think only about I and mine. This is how it was here. The illusory energy of the Lord cannot take precedence, being ashamed of her position. So actually, Maya cannot cover Krishna. She cannot do it. She is a servant of him. But those who are bewildered by her always talk nonsense, being absorbed in thoughts of it is I and it is mine. So only if we connect everything with Krishna, if we understand that this world is actually was created as a service to Krishna, Brahma created it, his first goal was to satisfy Krishna. And Krishna wanted to give us this world as a playground to be controller and enjoyer. But if we remember that Krishna is behind everything, and Krishna is the goal of everything, the source of everything, then we cannot be bewildered by Maya. And Krishna gave so many scriptures, actually different scriptures, different Vedic scriptures. We can, and sometimes it is said, we can read some scriptures and they talk about other demigods, about Shaktis, about even some impersonal. We have like our Shastras, our Vaishnava Shastras have something in common with Mayavadi's Shastras, because both Shastras say that we are not this body. But all of these Shastras are given by Krishna to that any person with any consciousness could step by step think about him, find out about Krishna, about these lost relationships with him. So he is trying so much to keep our attention on him. And but when we are not connected to Bhagavatam, it is very quickly happens that we see the world in another way, and we so like we think that sun is shining for us, for example, but also sun is shining for Krishna. And when we come to deities also, it is not we who are seeing deities, but deities are seeing us. And also if we think constantly that it is Krishna's leelas, Krishna's activities around us, and we are observing how Krishna plays even with us, with our consciousness, with our life, and with this whole world. Only then we can remember him constantly. And we are observing and we are getting amused. And only in this way we will remember always, even in the moment of death, that he is unlimited, he is most powerful, but he is most beautiful, most caring, and he is source of my life also. And only in this way we can remember him and we can go back to him. And also for example, in Orthodox tradition, there are these icons, and if we see them from the perspective of a painter, of how it is organized, how composition of icons is organized, and if it is compared to usual pictures. Usual pictures are that the perspective is like this way, for example, that the viewer is watching towards big picture, and we are looking at usually to this world as I am seeing this world. I am experiencing something, I am seeing, I am feeling. This is our attitude, our usual state of consciousness. But on icons, in Orthodox kind icons, perspective is the opposite, this way. And if we come to see icon, we feel that God is looking at me, and He created this world, and we are at the same moment we get this feeling of a very, very humble feeling of I'm very, very small. So yes, the whole chapter of Bhagavatam will also tell about other what else can we see differently, and to think that maybe our consciousness is the source of everything, or maybe my karma is source of everything. But Krishna is actually source of everything, and all Vedas, all literatures are made to remind us about it. That and when we read this in this way, how it is written, we remember Krishna again, and then we understand that the more we read about Krishna, we can perceive him and try to understand first as a someone who created this world. This Aishwarya first feelings that we are amused how powerful he is, but as much as we go further and further and further reading Bhagavatam, we understand that how this feelings can be developed. Not only we are grateful to him, we are depending on him, we are amused by him in this way that he is very powerful, but we can feel that there are other devotees who can see Lord in different way. For example, if there is a corpse of a little baby who left body, in the eyes of mother there will be one feeling, but in the eyes of a wild animal it will be another feeling, another. So also there are different devotees, different personalities who can see differently, and we read Bhagavatam to understand how what kind of emotions and feelings different devotees have towards Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. And as long as we read it, we understand which feelings we can have towards Krishna. Yes, and also, and as we reading this, as we reading Bhagavatam, we also, after each lesson, to remember this information, we need to connect it with our life somehow. We need to remember our goals, which are very relevant for us at this moment, and connect them with Krishna. We should see Krishna's leelas, Krishna's actions in our life, in our goals, and connect our goals to Krishna. Then we will not forget him. So if we make now if we think now, what are my goals, nearest goals for this day? So what we are planning for this day? What are we planning for this day? What is my plan? And in the early morning, in the beginning of the day, after hearing that Krishna, it is Krishna behind everything, how will my attitude change for the whole day? And we can plan our actions, our feelings, our perception of this world in the early morning already. Okay, I don't know, maybe there are some comments or something. Somebody wants to say something, some reciprocation, feedback, or questions, I don't know. Okay, then also we have time? Some time? What is?
We'll start in a few,
Mhm.
some 20 minutes.
Okay, and then I also wanted, I don't know, just had an idea to read something from Bhaktivinoda Thakur, how he says we should serve Bhagavatam. So it is not only that we how to realize actually this knowledge which Bhagavatam gives to us. We listen to it, okay, first we prepare to listen, and already before listening to Bhagavatam we connect everything which we have in our memory with Krishna, with Bhagavatam, and we are ready to listen, and then we can really accept. Also, while we are listening, actually it is very good to make notes and to note down not only facts which are said or written, but also to note down our doubts which we have, which appear in our hand, and we write down. This is something which I cannot understand. This is something. This sounds very strange to me. This I cannot accept. This is very difficult to accept. I don't like this. If we note down that what we don't like or cannot accept, then our intelligence start working and think why I cannot accept something. Again, something more comes from our deeper memory, and in this way we can understand how our mind actually is an illusion. Only and even if we because we can hear something, it evokes some emotions in us, but at the same time these emotions may be not connected to subject at all, and only when we analyze why exactly I am feeling this right now, why exactly I am thinking this right now, only after analysis we can really understand that maybe there was something else in Bhagavatam. Also we should note down if we have some realizations. If we read something from Bhagavatam and we remember some examples of our experience that support some sentences of Bhagavatam, phrases of Srila Prabhupada. But also even further, it is, for example, when I first time when I first read this article of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, it sounded like something. I didn't believe that Bhaktivinoda Thakur actually wrote it. Okay, so Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains some very important things, and he says he writes in this article. In fact, most readers are simple keepers of facts and statements of other people. But this is not study. A student who studies a book should read facts for the purpose of learning, not for the purpose of fruitlessly memorizing those facts. And further, those who study a book, like satellites, meaning satellites in the sky, must reflect the light they receive from the authors, but they should not put all these facts and thoughts in the prison of their minds. Thoughts must be dynamic or progressive. Thoughts should advance. The author's thoughts should cause progress in the reader in the form of transformation or development. The best critic is one who can show a further development of an old thought. But a mere expositor is the enemy of progress and therefore of nature itself. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes that we should be creative also in our analysis. We should listen or read Bhagavatam, and it should create our creativity also, our process of development of thoughts. And only in this way it is a living knowledge. And for this, like, it sounds a kind of dangerous. You can violate something, yeah? Some knowledge which is given by Bhagavatam. Actually, you can violate or speculate, and we usually are taught that we should not speculate about Vedic knowledge, just knowledge from Shastra. So where is the point? Where is this limit? Where is this? So only when we are connected to our spiritual master, actually, and we have, it is also actually the whole first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. First canto of Srimad Bhagavatam describes relationships between spiritual master and disciple as speakers of Bhagavatam and listeners to Bhagavatam. There are three couples, Sutta Goswami and sages of Naimisharanya, then Narada Muni and Vyasadeva, and then Shukadeva Goswami and Maharaja Parikshit. And there are descriptions of their qualities, what they wanted, how they were prepared to listen to Bhagavatam, why they had this wish to listen to Bhagavatam, and how could they understand Bhagavatam, like what were they looking for. And it is also said that these are three levels of different levels of listeners and speakers, and Shukadeva Goswami and Maharaja Parikshit are the highest. Why? Because they didn't have any other goals for their listening. They didn't want, for example, sages of Naimisharanya, they wanted to save this world. Actually, they were performing their yagyas because it was their dharma, actually, and they wanted to become perfect themselves and to have perfect world around them. But for many years and ages, they understood that it is not possible somehow, and only after listening to Sutta Goswami, they understood that there is something else. And only while they are listening, after listening about Krishna, they understood that this is actually the best yagya, listening about Supreme Personality of Godhead. So when it is also said that Sutta Goswami, all of them, Sutta Goswami and Narada Muni, and Shukadeva Goswami. All of them were very much connected to their spiritual masters, and they had real feelings towards spiritual masters, and also spiritual masters had loving feelings towards them as disciples. So when a disciple has this sincere feelings towards spiritual master and sincere desire to serve spiritual master and to learn to study Bhagavatam as a service to spiritual master and start with prayer to Lord to help him to serve spiritual master. Only in this case there is this creativity and very alive knowledge, living knowledge, but without violence, violating and without speculation. So, and yes, and this is science of studying Bhagavatam. Yes, so yes, spirit all Vedic knowledge is about Lord Narayana, who is Lord Krishna, and we should always come back in our consciousness to Bhagavatam. Yes, and for this we should connect Bhagavatam with our goals in our life, with our everyday activities, and to see Lord. Not to be not to be doer ourselves, but to be an observer how Lord is acting in this world and try to serve God. Okay, any comments? Feedback?
I have a question. Mataji, you were telling that it's possible that when we are reading scriptures, so it's possible that we kind of speculate or assume things wrongly. So it happens even sometimes when we are listening to lectures. Otherwise, maybe we are just thinking about something, and maybe at times it happens that okay, maybe this is what Krishna wants, and that's why whatever activities we are doing, otherwise whatever happened with us, so it just happened. So like you were saying, there's a fine line between such an illusion and the actual reality. You suggested that if we are very well connected to our spiritual masters, so such illusions or delusions do not happen. What about people like me who are not initiated, do not have a spiritual master yet? For people like me, how should we be able to overcome such an illusion or misunderstanding in our spiritual lives?
It is not question of initiation. It is question of if you really accept somebody as spiritual master, then knowledge will come to you and Krishna will reciprocate. And but to also our way to this is actually to accept Srila Prabhupada as spiritual master and to be open to his words. First of all, and when we read books, he is present. He speaks to us in his books. Just can you imagine how he wrote it? Okay, it was many hours, day, night, nights, but also he was translating from one foreign language to another foreign language. Yes, his native language was Bengali, Bangla. But he was translating from Sanskrit to English, and before being noting something down, before writing, before commenting. He studied everything from acharyas also. So he really had these feelings, very sincere feelings of care for us. So we can trust him. And when you also listen to some preachers who inspire you, who inspire you to serve more, to serve Krishna more, these preachers are your shiksha spiritual master, shiksha gurus. And if you reciprocate as listening and inquiring and asking questions, serving, this way you will also have relationships with few of them, and step by step you will this also will lead to initiation. It is different process, but when you already accept someone, Krishna already reciprocates, and you will when you understand, if you have sincere feelings inside you, then you can also feel when somebody is sincere also, and when the knowledge is sincere, when you are doing something sincerely, with love or without love, for your own interest or for service to Krishna. Only you can tell this difference and fine line.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada.